Okay, well, first of all, I'm extremely excited today to announce Adam Howard as our new assistant coach. I got to know Adam a couple years ago when we actually flew him up to present matchup zone defense that he really helped orchestrate. Think the world of him. Thought he was terrific when he presented to our staff. Very well-rounded. Some of the things as I've gotten to know Adam over the last couple of years. This past year, my only game that I was able to go see my son Jack play down at Texas Arlington was when they played South Alabama. So I was able to reconnect with Adam down there. Had great conversation with him, and always kind of had in the back of my mind if I had a staff position open up, that he would be a guy that would be at the top of the list. As far as what Adam can bring to our program, first and foremost, he's really good on the defensive end of the floor, and he has a very unique approach to looking at it with different defenses. And I'm really excited to get to know and learn more about those in the coming months as we head into our season next year. One other area, that I've gotten to know with Adam is he's very well connected around the country. And he's, in the short time that we've had him on our staff, the different people that he has talked to me about as far as bringing in both potential freshman recruits next season and also players as they continue to go into the transfer portal. So I'm really impressed with Adam's connections, and I think he's going to be able to get some very high-level players in front of us, hopefully on campus, into our building where we can talk to them about our program. The other area which we saw this morning, right now as far as what we're doing with our players, it's all about individual fundamental skill development. And basically each coach is taking one guy right now and just working on different fundamental aspects of the game. And I couldn't have been more impressed with what I saw out of Adam this morning, really with his first day with working with our guys. I know he's going to build great relationships with our players, which is so important in today's game as far as getting to know your guys, making them feel comfortable and hopefully making them feel confident. As far as where we ended our season, hopefully with the way we ended, we created some momentum coming into next year, especially with the offensive system and the way we played. I believe it was 8 of our last 10 halves. We were over 50%, and we were one of the more efficient teams as we ended up the season as far as the offensive end of the ball. Obviously, we have a lot of room to grow on that other end, and that's one of the reasons I'm most excited about Adam bringing him on board, is to really help us get a system where we can be more consistent on that end.
How important was it to find a guy with maybe a more defensive-minded background?
Well, again, really what we were looking for was well-rounded, and obviously that was very attractive with some of the different things that I've seen out of Adam when we had him up here a couple of years ago. With what we were able to see as far as that system, it's complicated. It's hard for us to put in exactly what it is, just based on all the different nuances of that matchup zone defense. So, to get a guy in here that's his background, that's what he's done, and that's the system that he has helped implement into a lot of very successful defenses. So, when you saw towards the end of the year when we got a little bit better on that end, we really were trying to change up and trying to keep teams off balance. I really wanted to get a guy in here that had a background in helping continue on with that trend. As far as the other thing, obviously being connected and being able to get, the right guys in here to our program that fit with what we want to do. Just let me hit on Sam Griesel real quickly. Could not be more excited to have Sam in our program, to get a guy that can come in here and play really all over the floor. What attracted me is the positional size at the point guard position at 6'6". We played him a couple years ago, and I just love the kid with everything that he was all about. Can go out and get triple-double, and I think he'll fit very well within the system. As far as getting guys involved, he's tough, and more than anything, I think he's a culture guy that can really help us get on the right path. So, really excited about Sam's future with us, and he cares obviously very deeply for this program, being a local kid. And somebody that wants to see success and hopefully be a part of something, to take this place to where it's never been before. I think that'd be pretty special for a local kid like Sam.
So you talked about the recruits, is there a specific physical makeup and mentality you guys are looking for them?
Well, obviously we're looking at one thing I'm excited about for next year is I think we'll have as good a positional size as we've had since we've taken over with Sam. Certainly with Denham, I'll talk about the recruits. I'm very excited that we were able to keep that recruiting class together. I was able to, as soon as, the season was over, to fly out and see all of those guys individually and sit in front of them and talk about the vision that we had for them as players and what they can accomplish in our program. So, first opportunity was to go out and see Ramel and sit in front of Ramel and his family. I'm thankful that he kept his commitment and remained on board. Flew down to see Blaze, who obviously is going to be a huge key for us. Again, talk about positional size. I think there's going to be opportunity to play he and Derek together. It's great to get Derek back as a guy that certainly had a phenomenal season. He had a 21 rebound game at the end of the year. 4 of his last 5 games were double-doubles. He averaged a double-double. So, to have that size and physicality here was huge for us to keep that on board. Saw Jamarcus, didn't fly out after the season, but recently saw him when we were out playing on the East Coast, and he's been rock solid ever since. A guy that just won a state championship, a guy that had a phenomenal year that can really shoot the basketball. So, and obviously Denham getting him at semester, that was the 4-man class that we were able to keep intact. But when you see not only the size, positional size, but also the versatility of those players, certainly gets me excited about next year. We are continuing to look at how we can improve our roster. So we are, currently talking to a couple transfers. We went and visited one last week. I obviously can't talk names or specifics on that. And we will potentially have some visitors coming up here. I know the decision from Trey and Lat, is coming. Still don't have final answers on those 2 guys. Obviously, we're keeping in very close contact with them, and we'll see how things develop. We should know a lot more about the direction as far as those 2 guys in the next couple weeks.
Why did you feel that the staff changes you made were able to?
Well, it's just something that, again, with Adam, I'm very excited about what he brings to this program. As far as being a well-rounded guy, that can help us all over. He's not just going to do one area. He's going to be a guy that helps us all across the board.
How much did you look into? You was a part of the Southern Miss thing with the NCAA investigation. How much did that factor into your?
Yeah, obviously everybody that is a potential hire goes through a full and extensive background check, and that includes an NCAA check. And there was no issues from administration or from our compliance office. I think one thing that's very important to point out, the associate AD at Southern Miss was on staff in the athletic department at Troy when they hired him without issue. So that's very important to look at, but there was no concerns with any of that.
When Adam presented a few years ago, when specifically was that? And I guess, I don't know, more detail to sort of what made his presentation stand out?
Yeah, it was in the preseason and came down. Obviously, there was no conflicts with what he had going with his previous job. And I was so impressed with the different things and all the questions that we answered on how to defend certain actions, on how he answered all those. So, again, for me, he was the guy that I talked to right away when the position opened up, and he was the first guy that I wanted to bring here, and I'm very thankful. I'm really excited to bring Adam on board.
Was it with the recruits when you did fly to visit them? Was that a tough sell in any cases, or did you sense that they were on the same page?
Yeah, I really did feel that we were on the same page with it. Obviously we've kept in contact with the players and the families over the course of the year, and was able to see Jamarcus play, was able to get down and see Blaze play. Was able to certainly to keep in very close contact with Ramel. I do believe we stayed on the same page this whole time, and I think it was important for the family and the kid to hear that we continued to have the same vision for them and what they could hopefully accomplish in a Husker uniform, and hopefully what we can do to maybe help them achieve their goals.
Do you anticipate filling that special assistant to the head coach role?
No, I will not fill that position.
How do you feel your personnel meshes with the defense that Adam likes?
I think it's good because it's got length, and I think anytime you're playing that defense on that end of the floor, to be able to slow a team down, hopefully with the pressure, which we went to a little bit towards the end of the year with a little bit of three-quarter court 1-3-1, dropped that back into some zone, switched over the course of the possession to man. But I think anytime you have positional size and length on that end of the floor, it gives you an advantage when you're switching up your defenses. I think we'll have a high IQ team as well that will be able to handle some of that switching up.
How's Wilhelm
Wilhelm's doing great. He's right on track with where he needs to be right now. He's put on 15 pounds. Really, all he's been able to do is get in the weight room, which has been very beneficial for him. We're doing a lot of spot shooting with him right now, and you can even see, even compared to when he came in, just how much more balanced he is as far as the strength in both legs. So he's a guy that's very diligent in his rehab, and he's going to continue to stay on track. Hopefully get him back here in the next couple months.
That picture with Keita and Walker, can you expand on what's your vision for that? Having those two guys on the floor.
Yeah, obviously rebounding was an area we really struggled in this year. And, towards the end of the year, we did play, big at times. And I liked what I saw. I've generally played with four guys that can space it at any time, but, he can be creative and run different short pick and roll type packages, get a guy down on the baseline. Roll a guy into the pocket, which Derek is phenomenal in that pocket, a very good passer, for his size. So, I think you can get away with running some actions on that end of the floor, and then rebounding and physicality is going to help in a big way, certainly when you have those two guys on the floor together.
How much does it help just being able, I know you said Adam was your maybe your first choice, how helpful is it just to be able to get that, have you say yes, and just have that piece of it done, be able to kind of...
Yeah, it's important. The other thing with Adam is he's not only connected in the recruiting world, but as far as coaching, I mean, everybody on our staff has a connection to Adam. Nate Lenzer and Adam have been close for a long time. Armand Gates was a grad assistant when Adam was playing at Western Kentucky, so he's got relationships with everybody on our staff, which was another thing that I really wanted. It was an important part of bringing in somebody that knew everything, that we were all about. We showed Adam some offensive concepts when he came last year and presented on the defensive end. So I think everybody, is very comfortable with Adam and certainly what he can bring to our team.